What's up, guys? Welcome back to Movie Rex. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be looking at 7 movies that made you see actors differently. So basically for this list, I am going to be taking 7 actors who, for the most part, always kind of played the same type of character until a particular kind of movie came along and they just completely blew you out of the water with their performance as a completely different role than what you were used to seeing. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I'm psyched.
First up, Michael Rooker in Jumper. So if you haven't seen Jumper, it's basically about a guy played by Hayden Christensen who has the ability to teleport, and he is hunted down by a group of people trying to stop him and the other jumpers. One of the people chasing him down is actually Samuel L. Jackson, which, if you remember, Hayden Christensen's character Anakin killed Samuel L. Jackson in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. So just kind of funny seeing these two back together.
What I'd like to know is how you rob a bank without opening any doors.
This conversation's over.
This conversation's not over.
So whether you like this movie or not, because yes, it did get kind of reviews from what I remember, Michael Rooker was like such a great father in this movie. And up until this movie, I had just been like pretty freaked out by him. He always played these, whether like really crazy villains, like in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, which if you have not seen that movie, I don't recommend that you do. Or, you know, just playing the asshole father in Mallrats.
My daughter is too good for you.
I always saw him playing these like jerks. And when I saw him portray the father in this movie, I was like, oh my God, like he's actually like, you know, seems like a nice guy. And it's funny because I almost got to meet him actually at AwesomeCon in DC. I went there to meet the cast of Boy Meets World because I'm obsessed with that show. And Michael Rooker was there. I saw him come out. I cheered for him and clapped and all that stuff, but we just didn't have time to meet him. But he was like, you know, waving, and you could tell he was really excited to meet the fans. So, and I was actually going to tell him that up until I saw Jumper, I was like really like disturbed by him. You know, it might have just been because of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I mean, he was so good in that and so disturbing. But again, for the most part, he usually plays like weird villains. So, but anyway, I did not get a chance to meet him, but maybe one day. All right, next up, Nathan Fillion, Slither. So Slither is about alien creatures that take over a town. They look like big worms that slither around, hence the name Slither. Okay, so to be fair, I had only seen Nathan Fillion in one other thing, and that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show, which I like used to obsess over. Such a great show. And he played in, I think it was the last season, Caleb, this like psychotic demon priest. And he was just so over the top and strange in it. And he actually winds up, if you are fans of the show, you'll know who Xander is. He actually winds up taking out one of Xander's eyes. And it's like this massive fight scene with him and Buffy. It takes like a few times for her to actually like kill him.
Okay, how many times do I have to kill you? Ballpark figure?
You understand nothing.
He was like this really like, you know, like the big bad, as they would say. He was definitely like a obnoxious bad guy in this. But then in Slither, he was so likable and so funny.
Oh, my easygoing nature is getting sorely fucking tested.
It's so great. If you have not seen Slither, oh my God, do yourself a favor and watch it. It is hilarious. Yes, it's got some gross scenes and they're over the top, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is so funny. It's like meant to be kind of campy. Actually, Michael Rooker's in this one too. He plays the bad guy that gets all gross and deformed, once again, playing a bad guy. But so sort of a sympathetic bad guy. But Elizabeth Banks is in it too. But I'm telling you, if you saw Nathan Fillion in Buffy and then watched him in this, oh my goodness, it was just a complete game changer. So, you know, definitely give this one a watch. I promise you, you won't regret it. It is so funny.
But you seen any of these, I don't know what to call them. They're like big slugs, only they're fast.
No slugs. But your mama called. She said the toilet's all backed up again. Once you come over, soon as you're finished there.
All right, sweetheart, listen, I need you to listen to me just for a second, okay?
She said it's what you've done in there on Sunday what caused the backup.
Next up, Val Kilmer in Tombstone.
I'm your huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
So up until Tombstone, I had, of course, seen Val Kilmer in Willow. I talked about that movie in my last video where, you know, he was amazing as Mad Mardigan. I'd seen him in Real Genius and, of course, Top Gun. But man, when he came out as Doc Holliday, it was just like, holy shit. I mean, I remember my father watching this, and he's a big history nut, and he was like, he did such a great job. I mean, his like just demeanor, his sarcasm, he was just absolutely incredible in this role. And I mean, it to me, this was a complete game changer, because up until this point, he'd always played kind of cool characters or funny or silly. And yes, Doc Holliday has his like funny moments, but it's done in a different kind of way. This movie to me solidified that that man could act. It was incredible. Definitely a great movie. Okay, next up, Jim Carrey, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
My name is Clementine, by the way.
I'm Joel.
Hi, Joel. No jokes about my name. Oh, no. You wouldn't do that. You're trying to be nice.
I don't know any jokes about your name.
Huckleberry Hound.
I don't know what that means.
So I'm not going to go into this movie too much, because I've talked about it a billion times, because it's such a great movie and it's been on several of my lists. But I will say that until this movie came out, Jim Carrey was mainly known for being silly, funny, outrageous.
Do not go in there. Woo!
When he was in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and I saw it for the first time, I could not believe how well he played this shy, reserved, self-conscious, insecure man. It was just incredible. He did such a great job, and this role truly was one of the biggest game-changing moments for an actor in a movie. All right, next up, Joaquin Phoenix in Walk the Line as Johnny Cash.
Standing back there in your shop catching my breath, I come to admire you even more. You see, I never had to do hard time like you, although I have, on occasion, got myself busted.
So Walk the Line basically tells the story of the romance between Johnny Cash and June Carter. So of course, Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. I mean, he's played everything from like the weird, creepy student in To Die For to the innocent, sweet guy in Return to Paradise, which if you haven't seen that movie, it's awesome. It's with Vince Vaughn, really good movie. But, you know, he also played in Gladiator as Commodus, all these different characters. So there's no denying that he's really good. But man, when he came out as Johnny Cash with that voice, that walk, it was just like, holy shit, this guy is completely transformed himself. He is Johnny Cash. I mean, it was unbelievable. I expected the different roles that he had played before, because I knew he had that range. But oh my gosh, like just seeing him play Johnny Cash, seeing him just slip on that mood, I mean, it was just something else. And again, just a total, complete, game-changing role for Joaquin Phoenix. Next up, Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting.
Why'd she leave you? Was she, banging some other guy?
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you. I will fucking end you. Got that, Chief?
Time's up.
Robin Williams was absolutely phenomenal in this role. Now, I had seen him in other serious roles, Dead Poets Society and Awakenings, and he was really good in those too.
Thank you.
But there was something different about this role. In this one, it was not only bringing humor to it, but a sense of strength and just this ability to really connect with the audience. It was like when Matt Dillon's character went to go see him, you almost felt like you were getting therapy too. I mean, he just brought this sense of life to his role that I think everybody could honestly relate to, and just kind of needed that slap in the face of like, you think you know everything, but you don't. It was just, I don't know. He was just so great in this role. And I think everybody was hit very hard by the loss of Robin Williams. And, it's understandable to see why. He was incredible.
About my painting. Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me. I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me?
No.
You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
It's all right.
Okay, Last on my list, Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands.
I knew it was Jim's house.
You did?
Yes.
Well, then why'd you do it?
Because you asked me to.
So Edward Scissorhands is a Tim Burton movie, and I'm pretty sure it's the first one that brought Johnny Depp and Tim Burton together. It's about Edward, who was created by this inventor, and on the day that he was going to give him his hands, he tragically died, and instead Edward was left with scissors for hands. So the thing about this movie is that before Johnny Depp did it, he was really only well known for two things: A Nightmare on Elm Street and 21 Jump Street. And he was just, you know, that cute actor that all the girls fawned over.
So that's all it is, right where you're having it, you know? Once you do that, you wake right up. At least it works for me.
And then all of a sudden, he plays Edward Scissorhands, where you can't see that cute boy underneath all that makeup. He's just this sad, lonely character who's just looking for companionship. He doesn't understand why people are mean at a certain point, and he was just so incredible in this. It was definitely a pivotal role in his career, and I think it completely changed the way all audiences looked at Johnny Depp. He was no longer just that cute guy that the girls, you know, had crushes on. It was like, whoa, this guy is like a serious actor. And I think Crybaby came out the same year, and of course in Crybaby, you know, he's again like this cute guy on a motorcycle. I mean, it's a really funny movie. It's a John Waters film for anybody that's not familiar with it. But I don't know which came out first. I don't know if Crybaby came out first or if Edward Scissorhands came out first, but I feel like Edward Scissorhands got a bigger production. At least it stands out to me more when it came out. I think there was a lot more talk because people were shocked that he was portraying this guy. It was completely unlike other characters, and again, it took that, you know, cute pretty boy and put him in this role where he's like this gothic guy who is just sad and lonely. I mean, it was just such a great role, and I really think propelled him into this chameleon that he was able to become after that. Okay guys, there you have it. 7 roles that changed the way you looked at certain actors. What do you guys think of my list? Are there any topics that you'd like to see me cover that I haven't already? Definitely let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and be on the lookout for more movie rec videos. Bye.